Hi guys, and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how I painted this guy in 3 easy steps and how you could do the same at home. Let's get started. I'm going to paint this little guy that I sculpted in my last video. I really want him to have an organic wood texture-like finish. So I'm going to show you 3 easy steps that you can apply to pretty much any organic paint job. The only materials you're going to need is acrylic paint, a couple of paintbrushes, and a bit of water. So let's get painting. Step 1 is to block out the sculpture with a base color. I want a brown that's not too warm, so I'm mixing in a bit of yellow tones and a little bit of grey. For the whole paint job, I only need a total of 5 different brushes. For step 1, I'm using this square flat brush. I'm going over the whole surface with this base colour, making sure I get a good and even coverage. As you can see, the base layer is quite dark, and that's because I am starting with my darkest color and then gradually working my way up to the lighter tones. I will use a little brush like this, not for details yet, but simply to get into the tight spots that the bigger brush can't reach. You want to make sure your base layer is fully dry before you move on to step 2, and you can speed up that process by using a hairdryer. In step 2, I'm going to be adding highlights with a technique called dry brushing. I'm going to use 3 different shades for the highlights, and as you can tell, they're all lighter than the base color. I'm going to use the same style brush as I used in step 1, but I want to make sure it's a fresh brush so that it's dry. I'm going to start with the darkest of the 3 shades and then work my way up to the lightest. I'm going to load my brush with the paint, then I want to rub off the excess paint, and for that you can use newspaper or I'm going to use a piece of cardboard. I then lightly run my brush over the high points of the sculpture, and I only want to pick up the high points so that I maintain the base color in the low points. Step 3 is about painting the lowlights with the use of a paint wash. I'm going to use the same color as my base coat, mixed with black, about 50-50. Then I'm going to add water and mix until it's smooth and quite runny. For step 3, I'm going to use a pointy brush so I know I can get into all those little cavities. I'm going to take my dark wash and I'm going to use a mixture of brushing and dabbing to get it into all the deep points. Just going to do a little section like this at a time, and then I'm going to take a rag. I'm going to half wipe, half dab. I have to work quite quickly because I don't want the lowlights to dry before I've had a chance to wipe off the excess. Now if you feel like the dark wash took too much of your highlights away, you can take a step back and go in with another light layer of dry brushing over top, but you only want to hit the very high points just to really make that detail pop. So the final thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make a little extra wash. I'm going to mix a couple of greens until I have this nice moss color. Then I'm going to take the final brush that we're going to use today It's just a simple chip brush, but with the bristles cut halfway down. I'm going to use one finger to pull the bristles back as a release and flick it onto my sculpture. And if you don't want to get messy hands like me, you might want to use gloves for this last part. Thanks for watching another video. If you found these tips helpful, please like this video or subscribe for more content like this. Let me know in the comments below what was your biggest takeaway from this tutorial. In my next video, I'm thinking of doing another sculpture. Feel free to comment with what you'd like to see, and I'll try my best to incorporate some of your ideas into my next design. See you then.